Hey guys, welcome back to the Art of Craftsmanship. My name's Dustin, and today in the shop I'm going to show you how to reprofile and sharpen an axe. Now, you might find an axe at a store that just needs to be sharpened, or you might find a vintage axe from a yard sale or something like that that has a good handle and it also just needs to be sharpened. So I've done a bunch of different techniques and I've watched a bunch of videos and I've tried a bunch of different sharpening things over the years. And what I'm going to show you today is kind of the best way that I've found to work through this process fairly quickly and come up with an edge that's really sharp. And I definitely have some scars on my body to show that my axe edges are sharp. So let's go ahead and get started. So for this axe, the first thing I think about is that this is a really straight bit. It needs to be reprofiled. Now the profile of the bit is this nice gentle curve that we're looking for on the front edge. This one has a really nice profile. This one's pretty straight, so it needs to be reprofiled. Now, a great way to determine if you have a good profile or not is you can actually take your axe and you can lay it down on the surface, and you're looking for the bit to be touching the surface right in the middle of your axe head. Now this one has pretty good, it's set back just a little bit. This one's even better. When I lay it down, we're almost exactly at the center of the bit. So this is a great profile. This is what I'm looking for today when I'm resharpening and reprofiling this other axe head. You can lay your axe head flat to come up with the profile, and we'll just use a compass. So you're going to add one end of your compass to the toe, which is the top edge of your bit, and then you set your pencil at the top of the pole, and then we'll make an arc line here. Now we'll do the same thing to the bottom, one of the compass at the heel, the bottom edge of the bit, and your pencil line at the bottom edge of the pole, and we'll make a second arc. Where those two lines crisscross, that's where we'll use that to draw the profile of the front edge of the bit. Now we flip this around and put our end of our compass right on that crisscrossing mark. Bring your pencil in to the front edge as far possible as you can, and then we'll use this to create our profile arc on the front, on the bit. The next part is easy. We're just going to grind down to the line. And you do have to remember that this edge is already heat treated, so you want to keep it cool, because if you let it heat up, you'll lose that temper. So just keep a bucket of water nearby, and just as you're grinding every couple passes, keep dipping it, keep it cool, and you'll be good to go. Now that we've finished the profile on the blade, we got to start thinking about edge geometry. And we want to put a convex edge on this blade. And so what we're looking at right now is basically an edge that is tapered but flat at the top because we've ground the profile. Now, first thing we want to do is put in our bevel. And our bevel angle, which I like to use, is 25 degrees. So we're going to grind those 25 degrees on that edge. So this is 25. We're just going to work on just that edge, which will leave us with an edge that looks like this. A nice straight point. Now we have two things on either side, which Liam Hoffman likes to call speed bumps. And what these do is to slow down the axe as we go into the wood. So what we need to do is we need to round these edges over and profile this so that way we have a nice convex grind all the way, which will leave us with a smooth transition from the side into that edge point, which again is 25 degrees, and a nice convex edge, which will cut into the wood really well. Now, if you have a tool rest and you want to, you can actually set this to 12.5 degrees and find your edge that way on both sides. But what I'm going to do is I'm just going to use this angle finder. I'll set it to 25 degrees and I'll just sharpen it by hand, keep checking. Now, I've done this a bunch, so it's going to be fairly easy for me to do that. But it is good to have your angle finder there, and you can just check that edge each time as you go until you get that nice edge exactly where you want it. Now that I put in that initial 25-degree bevel, I'm just going to slacken this tool rest so that I can actually remove it and put a slack portion of the belt. With the slack belt, I'll be able to push into it, and it's going to make a nice curve, so I'll be able to remove those speed bumps a lot easier. I've been working with the bevel up so I could see that front edge, but now that I'm going to be convexing and just removing those speed bumps, I'll be working with the bevel down. I started all my main material removal with a 60 grit belt, and I moved on to a 120 and a 220 just to move through those progressions to get a nice shine on the blade. Now the whole time I was making sure that I kept the blade nice and cool by dipping it in the water, and I moved over to my 2x42 with a Scotch-Brite belt to get a nice polish on the blade before moving over to do my final sharpening. So I got out my 1x30 with my stropping belt. I'm going to add a little bit of polishing compound, and I'll put the final edge on the axe. All right, well, I am super excited to have breathed new life into this little Collins Legitimus Boys axe. Really enjoy the profile now. It looks really nice, and the edge geometry is just, oh, it just looks perfect. I'm sure this is gonna cut wood like butter. So this has been a fun day in the shop. The process that I showed you with using a grinder is a really great process. It's something that can be done really quickly, as long as you're careful about heating up that edge. You just keep your water nearby and cool it down, because you don't want to ruin that temper. Now you can also do this with hand files and sandpaper and sharpening stones. You just want to establish that edge geometry first, and then come back and remove those speed bumps so you have a really nice convex grind. It'll cut through wood really well. So thank you guys so much for watching. If you're interested, we'd love for you to check out our new podcast called the Art of Craftsmanship podcast on the Makery Network. And you can find that on all your normal podcast platforms. We'd also love for you to check us out on Instagram at the Art of Craftsmanship and Patreon if you're looking for a way to support the channel. Make sure you like and subscribe, and we'll see you guys on the next video. Now, this, I'm sure, is hair popping and paper cutting sharp, but it's designed to cut wood, so let's head outside and give it a test.